There it is.
And we are almost live, I believe. Yeah, we're live.
How are you? What's going
Good
on?
morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to BWTM Sports. If you haven't subscribed already, please do hit the subscribe button. This is the interview you all have been waiting for. I have with me all the way from sunny Chicago. I hope it's sunny in Chicago. I
Beautiful.
have Rick Ramos. Rick, how are you doing?
Good, good. We just got done working out with Jessica in the gym, Jessica Mccaskill. I just got home right now, so I'm tired. Just about to wrap up my night. What's going on?
So, for those people who don't know who you are, I don't know why they wouldn't know who you are, but if they didn't know who you are, just let people know who you are. Let's turn this volume up so they can hear me and they can hear you. Right, go ahead, Rick.
Rick Ramos. My name is Rick. Out of Chicago. I own a Body Shop Boxing Club. I train and manage Jessica McCaskill. I've been in the game for a long time, and now I feel like I got Jessica, and I feel like we're ready to do big things and fight for a world title. And here we are. We're ready to fight. We want to fight. So here we are.
For those people who the story of Rick Ramos, what is the story of Rick Ramos? When I first heard your name, Rick, I've got to be honest. I've got to say, you sounded like a pro wrestler. I don't know why. I thought you were a pro wrestler or you
I'm
were a
def-
comedian. So you're not. You are a boxing manager and trainer. So tell us more.
You know what? I've owned a boxing gym in Chicago. It'll be 11. It's just over 11 years. I've been around. I started fighting when I was 12 years old. I think 12 or 13 when I had my first amateur fight. I always wanted to be involved in boxing as an adult, and I made some career moves where, as a young adult, I didn't have to fight no more. So I took my career serious. I was downtown at the Board of Trade, the Board of Options, and I stayed involved in the sport. I opened up a gym, started managing fighters, started training fighters. And I've been involved with some guys that didn't have the best talent, but we did some good things. We were the number one ticket sellers in Chicago, things like that. So in a very small market and in a very short time, I think I've done okay. But I want to do bigger things. I want bigger opportunities, and I think I can provide entertainment and a real product. And I think Jessica McCaskill is a real product, and she's
So
definitely a real.
how did you get to meet Jessica Mccaskill? I've got to know this story.
Oh man, so I was cleaning my gym. I was mopping up my gym, and I was closed. And I heard that someone knocking at the door, whatever, and it was Jessica, and she was just like, "Hey, are you Rick Ramos?" I said, "Yeah," and she said, "I saw you on Instagram. I had to come check out your gym. I wanted to talk to you because I did an amateur show, and it was an all-female amateur show, only females on the amateur show. It was like the first one done in Chicago, and I had male ring card guys. It was crazy, and it was fun, and it was good, and it was the first time it's been done in Chicago. Jessica saw it. She said, she just moved here. I didn't know. I didn't even know her, and she wanted to get on it. She wanted to fight, and she was the main event. So it was my show. So me and my partner, Sam Colonna, we put her as the main event, and it was an awesome show. And then from there on, Jessica and I just started talking, and just we made a plan. And I said, "Hey, we're gonna win the Golden Gloves," and we won the Golden Gloves two times. And then it was time. She fought nationals, and mediocre progress in nationals. But then after that, I said it's time to turn pro. She was like, I think she was 29 years old. So we had to move fast. We had to move quick. But it's all worked out so far.
I'm sure you saw the interview with myself and Jessica, and I said to her, one of the things that was most impressive I found was like she has this kind of like this aggression about her, but she seems to be able to put that together, not wildly, but she's got that aggression which you know, and she can box as well with it as well, and she can punch. It's a lovely chemistry to have right there. But her intensity is like none of the other female fighters that I've seen. Really intense.
I agree. She fights with passion, and she fights with maybe a little something like a chip on her shoulder. Maybe like she has something to prove.
Yeah, yeah. A
You know?
real. You know who fights with a chip on his shoulder? Terence Crawford.
Yeah, exactly. Terence
Got
Crawford is a
that
little.
same sort. Yeah, she's got that.
Yeah, I think that Terence is a little bit more angry on camera. Jessica hides it a little bit better, but when it's time to perform, Jessica loves to fight. And at the press conference when Jessica fought Katie Taylor, I told Katie Taylor, I said, you're a taught fighter. You weren't a born fighter. Jessica's a born fighter. It's in her blood. It's in her heart. You could see by her performance. And Katie Taylor, I told her, I was like, you were taught this stuff. She didn't. Katie Taylor didn't know what it meant to be hungry, to starve, not be without. She comes from a family who's done well, and Jessica comes, literally from the street. She was homeless at one point, and she just bought her first home. So, things are going good. Everything's fine. Jessica wants bigger fights and bigger opportunities.
So let's talk about this fight that happened in the UK with Jessica and Katie Taylor.
Mm.
From your perspective, everyone
Huh.
knows my perspective, so let's hear it from your perspective.
Man, you know what? Like, I watched this fight, yeah, 150 times. I watched it with the sound, without the sound. I counted with clickers. Like, I count Jessica's punches when she spars, but I counted clickers. I wanted, because there was no punch stats, which I thought was odd. Like, they didn't release the punch stat numbers. I think, I don't know who was in charge of it. I don't know. Like, I don't know. It went down a little different than I wanted to. I wanted to see the punch stat numbers. I wanted to see how we did. Um, I watched this thing 100 times, and I'd say I had it a draw. Maybe we lost by a round, and that's the honest to God truth. I know there's people, the supporters are saying that we won, and the people who don't want us to win said that we lost. I think a draw would have been fine. I know the UK fans would have went bananas if it was a draw, but I thought it was a good fight. I think we did very well. I think we got under Katie's skin. I think we got under trainer skin. There was just so many things leading up to that fight. That I was. I don't know if Jessica told you or not, but we sent a rubber chicken to
Yeah,
their
she
their
told me that. I was with Jessica for about an hour and a half on that interview, so yeah.
Yeah, there
Uh,
was a bunch like there
Rubber
was a bunch
chicken.
there was a bunch of things that happened that like no one talked about. Like it was a good lead up, man. Like I aggravated everybody. I aggravated Eddie Hearn for a second. I aggravated her coach Ross. I aggravated Katie. So I felt like I did my job to get the fight, and then I felt like Jessica definitely did her job to entertain the fans and to put on a real fight. I mean, we were a 200-1 underdog. You know what I mean? It's crazy, and I was insulted. Jessica was insulted. I'm like, man, let's just go shock the world. And since then, no one's given Katie Taylor any trouble except for Jessica. And Katie Taylor's blowing through girls, and I think we deserve a rematch. I really do. And October 6th, I know they're coming to Chicago to fight Cindy Serrano, who I respect, who I talk to face in Brooklyn. Cindy and her sister Amanda, they're well respected, and I like them both, and I respect them both. But if Eddie Hearn and Katie Taylor are coming to Chicago, I mean, I should, I think we should get a look at that rematch, and why don't you? The ball's in our court now. Like, you know what I mean? Like, obviously
Wait,
she
wait,
had, we
hold
don't
on, hold on, Rick. Wait, hold on. All right, what
even.
I is wait. Eddie Hearn and Dad. Is it Dad? Is it the Daz thing that's coming to Chicago?
Yeah, October 6th. That's where the fight
Right.
is.
Okay, hold on. How can you let a man walk into your backyard, put on a show, and you just go, well, there's a fight going, and you want that rematch? Man, you should be you should get the press conference, get crash the press conference,
Maybe
right? And say
we
this
all
is
have,
going.
we're, you
Come
know,
on, Rick.
you're gonna get me all hyped up, and then but
Rick,
I'm gonna
don't make me have to get on that plane, come over and do it for you. Don't make me have to do that.
no, I honestly believe, like, I think it was such a great fight, and I think that
Of
if
course
they're
it
gonna
was.
Chicago, we can help them sell tickets. Jessica is arguably one of the top ticket sellers in Chicago. Maybe two other people are right with us. And, hopefully we get an opportunity to be on the show. If they don't want the rematch, that's fine. I understand, whatever. I wouldn't take the risk again. But if I was them, we want to be on the show at the very least. I mean, I think I sell tickets. I think Jessica sells tickets. I think Jessica's an exciting fighter. She's a big puncher. And if you're going to come to Chicago and bring all these people from Brooklyn and bring all these people from the UK, I mean, you need some local talent on the show to sell some tickets. I mean, I don't know if you know, but Bob Arum, Top Rank, came to Chicago Memorial Day weekend a year ago, and they flopped. They flopped. They had a arena for 13,000 people, and only 2,000 people showed up. I don't even think 2,000 people showed up. But you know,
Dang. But
Chicago proud.
why is that?
You know what? First of all, Chicago is like, it's a tough, rugged city, right? And everybody says that about their city, right? But I'm telling you, like, if you don't show Chicago love, it's like a faucet, like a kitchen sink. They'll shut off the love right back. You think Bob Arum. I think Bob Arum came here like thinking, well, I'm Bob Arum. Well, and they had the Irish Olympian. Well, I'm the Irish Olympian, whatever his name is. And then all,
Conlon.
yeah, him, that kid. And they didn't show no love to Chicago. Chicago didn't feel like they were part of that show, so no one showed up. And I think, I hate to see. It doesn't help me. I'm not saying I'm happy. It doesn't help me. Bob Arum's never going to come back to Chicago. So what I'm saying to the people who are listening out there, Matchroom, Sky Sports, Showtime, Eddie Hearn, Katie Taylor, like, if you guys want to fill the seats, put on some local talent. I think that would be the best thing to do, and it would help the sport of boxing. It would help Chicago. Chicago is a phenomenal city. We should have some big fights out here. For sure, and we're
It
not
would be a
getting.
cry. It would be a crying shame to come all the way to Chicago and not have local talent from Chicago on that build. In fact, there'll be a slap in the face to the people of Chicago, I
Thank
think.
Thank you, and I agree with that. And I think, I don't know anybody's plan, and if they call me, cool. I'd be more than happy to get on the show. If they don't, then it is kind of a slap in the face. But Jessica has some other opportunities, and we have to start exploring them in a few weeks. Hopefully someone calls me. I would love to showcase her talent. We haven't fought since Katie Taylor. I mean, it's been 7, 8 months. We had shows that fell through. We had a Chicago show fall through. We had two shows in the Bahamas fall through. One because of bad timing, the other one because of bad weather. I mean, it was just one thing after another. We couldn't catch a break. Three shows canceled out. So it's been tough. We want to fight. Jessica's been in the gym since we landed. Since we landed from Ireland, because we went from London to Ireland and from Ireland home. Since that day, Jessica's been in the gym. So it's not like she's been sitting around. She don't take days off. She might take a day off, maybe two, maybe two. But she's out there riding her bike, out there doing something. It's not like she's sitting around on the couch. So she's been active. We've been sparring. So we're gonna stay ready for October 6th, whether we're on the show or not. Because if someone falls out and if Toronto falls out, um, hopefully she doesn't. She deserves a big payday, and she's been in the game, and I respect the Toronto sisters. But if for some reason someone falls out, we'll be ready to step in. We're 4 blocks. I'm four. We could walk the arena.
Wow. I've always wanted to, I've tried to interview the Serrano sisters on a number of occasions. Um, but for one reason or another, I just haven't been able to get to that interview. We've been saying we're going to do it and it hasn't happened. So at some point, I've got to try and make it happen.
Oh,
But
what's
go ahead.
you wanted the interview with the Serranos?
Yeah, I have, for one reason or the other, it hasn't happened. So
Yeah, I mean they're pretty responsive on Twitter. I'm sure if you reach out to them, they'll reach out to you back. But like I said, our my gym that I own is 4 blocks away from the arena. We'll help out. We'll help out Matchroom. I just want to be involved. If they don't want to put Jessica on, that's fine. I mean, obviously I'd be upset, but I mean, I would donate my gym so that Katie can be at my gym or the Serranos. if they want to do whatever. If Eddie Hearn needs my gym, man, my doors are open for everybody. I want to be involved on. I want to be involved on the highest and the lowest level. You know, from the amateur shows to the big time shows with Eddie Hearn, London, all this stuff. You know? I feel like I have a voice. I feel like I'm entertaining. I feel like Jessica's is crazy entertaining. I think Jessica needs just, we need some opportunity for sure. We need some opportunity like right away.
Now, all right, let me talk. Let's talk about a fight that happened on Saturday night and the subject of opportunity. Robert
Uh-huh.
E talked about opportunity. It's big opportunity to fight, and of course, you warned me and told me that Mikey Garcia would be too strong for Robert Easter, and you
Yeah.
were bang on about that. Um, but opportunity, great opportunity for Robert Easter to take the bull by the horn and literally taller, longer. I mean, I was expecting to be on the jab, making him miss, making him pay, hitting with uppercuts, hitting with straight right hands, spinning him, tying him up. I want to see that stuff. I just saw basically a midget bullying a giant, and I couldn't believe what I was watching for the rest of the whole fight. And that whole word, opportunity, Easter had an opportunity that he was dying for, and he got the opportunity. He did nothing with it.
I said the same thing, and I mean no disrespect to any fighter, but
Yeah,
when you're at that level, there's one thing you got to understand. You can't be a fan. Like I felt like Robert Easter was almost a fan. I felt like he didn't really believe that he belonged there. You know what I mean? Like I felt like
yeah.
he was like I got to put on a show and not really focused on what he like had to do. I mean, he made some adjustments and he came around and he did better as the fight went on, but you know, I just think like I don't know. I kind of saw him like he's a Midwest guy, and that's from Midwest area of the United States, and I know that character, that Broner character, the that kind of style of fighting, and I just felt like he was more wasn't sure if he belonged at that level, and Mikey was very very comfortable in the situation and very very comfortable at that level, and Mikey never came off the shout out to Robert Easter though. When he got dropped, he didn't panic. He stayed with it. He got up. He didn't panic, and he fought well. So no disrespect to him, but I kind of felt like he didn't. He first of all. Oh, by the way, he changed his trainer like right before that fight, which I thought. I never understand why people change their trainer right before a fight like that. He should have stuck. I don't know if he brought Cunningham in, for camp or he got rid of someone. I don't know the details, but to
Mhm.
bring somebody and try to learn something new in 8 weeks for anybody, even at the highest level, So Mikey Garcia is technically sound. He's never out of position when he throws punches. Mikey Garcia is for real. If you mess up, he'll pay. You know?
He'll make you pay. I see the way Easter got knocked down. I think to myself, like, you're a world champion. You've got such long arms. Mikey Garcia should not be throwing them sort of shots on you. You should be at that guy should be up. The guy should be touching the end of your glove all the fight as much as possible. How Garcia was able to make space, he basically, like I said, the midget and the giant, he's able to make uh, short and get inside post and throw that punch. And I'm thinking, you deserve to get knocked down. Some guys get knocked down and it's a good shot, and the guy gets knocked down. You think, that's a damn good shot,
Right.
fighter. But I looked at East and said, you know what? You deserve to get knocked down for a punch like that because you can see this is a lack of application there. I'm not knocking Mikey Garcia's ability. When you've got that reach and that height, I mean, what's the point?
Right. And Robert Easter is he's an athlete. He's athletic. He's he didn't look strong. Mikey Garcia is strong. Mikey Garcia kept Easter on the back foot.
Yes,
Yeah,
bullied him.
the whole fight, and I don't know. I don't know. How those guys trained, like Robert Easter. I don't know what kind of like training style, but a lot of guys in the Midwest, they don't do strength and for whatever reason. I don't know if he does or not. It didn't
Remember,
really. Yeah, he didn't really look like it, but a lot of Chicago
Roger Mayweather says that the best fighters come from the Midwest.
skill wise, I
That's what he
think
said.
I think the best skill fighters come from the Midwest. However, the guys the West Coast, I feel like they're cleaner, they're sharper. It's a lot less natural ability. It's more physical training, like the strength and conditioning, like the boxing IQ seems a little bit higher out west than it does in the Midwest. But I think the natural, skillful athletes come from the Midwest. But the West Coast guys, they for some reason they got something on us, and it could be that they do better strength and conditioning out there. I don't know. I haven't put a finger on it, but I always strength and conditioning, even my amateurs. I have a small stable of fighters, but we have winning. All my fighters have winning records, and you know, um, we're looking. I don't want to be on the B side. The only reason why I agreed to be on the B side when we fought Katie Taylor was because it was a massive opportunity. I don't plan to be on the B side for long.
We'll stay on the A side, of course. Um, Errol Spence,
True.
Mikey Garcia. Why? Why?
Er,
Why?
Listen, Mikey Garcia comes from, a family of very, very intelligent boxing personalities and professionals, right? His father, trained Fernando Vargas, trained Robert Garcia, trained countless amateurs and professionals in between, and they must know something. They must have seen something. They must have heard something. Those guys would never take an Earl Spence fight unless they knew something. You know what I mean? Like Mikey Garcia's his boxing IQ is up there with Paulie Malignaggi. They're very 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 smart in the ring. So I think they know something. I mean, I don't know what. But I think I was a little shocked to hear him say he'll go up to 147 his next fight. I don't know. I mean, maybe they know something, maybe they don't. I
Well,
don't.
the things I do know about Spence, just things I've seen of Spence. He pulls straight back from punches. Does get hit a lot. Um, I do see about Spence, but there are a lot of good things he does. He's got tremendous body punching.
I agree.
Puts his punches together very well, and he's a big man at the weight. You know, Mikey Garcia might make welterweight, but I'm sure come fight night, Spence will be close to a damn middleweight. So
Yeah, again, Mikey Garcia makes very few mistakes, and I think at this point of Earl Spence's career, he gets hit a lot. He gets hit. If you punch with him, you'll catch him. Maybe Mikey thinks that he has the power to hurt him. I don't know. You got to remember when Mikey fights 135, he drains out. So he might really be walking around at 165. One.
wow,
Yeah, I mean he's like a big guy, like like meaty guy, not musculars, but he's meaty kid, So I think he might naturally be a 145 pounder. That'll be a great fight. It'll be a great fight, and if he beats Spence, I mean you absolutely have the right to call out Mayweather again. Who knows? I mean that's
what
what I would.
about Crawford though?
I
That's a
mean
different conversation.
I don't know. I kind of think Crawford and Spence are almost the same guy, right? You beat one, it seems like you beat both. I mean, you know, like
Why you say that?
I just think they're the same guy. I mean, uh,
Really?
yeah. I mean, if you think about it, like, I mean, Crawford and Spence haven't really fought anybody yet, right? I mean, who have they fought for real? Like for real fought? Like, have they fought any Hall of Fame guys, former, future Hall of Fame guys? No, I don't know. Have they
I
fought any?
agree.
I mean, I think that they're fighting C plus fighters, maybe a B minus, like what's his name? Who's the Cuban kid that Crawford knocked out? Um,
Gamboa?
yeah, Gamboa. You know what I mean? Like he came in, everybody he looked like an A fighter, but he ended up being a B minus fighter, like a solid B fighter.
Okay.
He's not an A fighter anymore. He was actually he might have never been an A fighter. He never really Gamboa. He did good when he was smaller, but as he came up in weight, he definitely wasn't a threat. So that was really Crawford's. I mean Horn. Horn didn't beat Pacquiao, so I don't know how much you could take. You know,
Postal.
I know that he got the win, but that wasn't real. I don't think anyone took that serious.
What
But
about Postal?
what about who?
What about Victor Postal?
He's tough, but I think Crawford could beat him. I think Crawford's he's more elusive than Victor. It's Victor, right? Yeah, Victor.
Yeah,
And
it's possible.
I like Crawford for that. I like Spence for that fight too. They're both too elusive for a guy like that. But I don't know. I want to see. I mean, what do you think? I mean, if Mikey Garcia beats Spence, I don't know.
I like the way you said they're two the same guy. It's quite
Yeah,
funny. I've heard it put that way before. I've heard it put in some different ways, but two of the same guy. I like that.
yeah. I mean, they're literally both the same. I
I had this discussion the other day with the lovely Beverly Rose, and she's got her own YouTube channel. And I said, in terms of Spence versus Thurman, I said, if I'm Thurman's manager and I'm like want to get this fight happen, the first question I ask is, okay, so who have you fought? Spence. Who have you fought? I fought Kell Brook. Okay. And
right. I
and
don't. Yeah,
that,
yeah.
that's
I
the
don't know what
conversation.
he fought for Kell Brook. I forgot about that. But I mean, Kell Brook had already lost. I mean, what
To
weight?
Golovkin struggling to wait.
Yeah, I mean, what weight is Kell Brook? I don't even know what really like. He's probably a 140 pounder, like for real. You know what I mean? He's bouncing around a lot. Like
Yeah.
I'm, I don't know. I mean, it's hard to say. I mean, Spence, he was a killer in the gym. And that's how he made a name for himself. Like he
Mhm.
went cool and was beating up guys in the gym. Hurting Broner, hurting Mayweather. And that's how he got his name. But you know, uh, I don't know. I would love to see those fights. Those are big fights, but I think Crawford and Spence are like in a race against each other for a big mega fight at 147. So Mikey Garcia looks like he's going to come up, and he's the man. He's the man to beat. Spence is maybe has the bigger name, I guess. I don't know. I don't know. It depends, I guess, how you look at it, but I don't know. I don't know who has a bigger name, but Mikey Garcia, if he comes to 147, it changes the whole landscape of 147, right? I mean, Crawford and Spence ain't going to look at each other. They're going to look at Mikey because he's probably going to be where the money is at, you know?
Okay, what Mikey Garcia versus Keith Thurman?
I think Thurman is probably too strong for Mikey. That would be a good fight. Maybe I don't know. Thurman's pretty good, but I think Mikey's just hard to beat because he's so solid. His boxing fundamentals are so strong. He's gonna be hard to beat, for anybody. But Thurman might take a few more chances than anybody else, so he might have a better shot against Mikey Garcia. And he's
Mikey
probably
Garcia.
bigger.
The one thing I noticed about Mikey Garcia, he seems vulnerable to a straight right hand, or the
Yeah,
right hand he's vulnerable to.
yeah. Well, if you notice, Mikey changes speeds. Like he always catches everybody like changing speeds. And if someone changes speeds on Mikey, which I only think someone changed speeds on him once and dropped him, and it was early. I think it was I can't remember. Like, Rocky Martinez, I think, dropped him,
Yeah,
Mikey Garcia,
yeah.
and it was a 1-2. He changed the speeds up on him and caught Mikey like half asleep, and you never catch Mikey sleeping. And Rocky Martinez caught him sleeping early. I think it was early in the round and just dropped him. Mikey wasn't hurt. He got up, stopped the kid, but you got to catch Mikey the same way he catches everybody else, and that's timing, changing the speed, and sticking to the fundamentals.
If there's one guy who's going to do that, that will definitely be Terence Crawford.
Yeah, I like Crawford. Like I said, I like Crawford and Spence. I think they both fight exactly the same, and I think those two guys I think if Mikey Garcia beats one, then he could beat the other.
Very interesting. Very, very, very interesting. What's your thoughts on a guy that had two guys I've got my eye on? Rashidi Ellis. I've been talking about him for years. What are your thoughts on him?
You know what? To be honest, I don't know that much about him. I'd have to watch him a little more. Um, I don't know that much about him.
He was a number one amateur in the USA.
Yeah, but like I feel like he hasn't got enough T time. He's not a lot. I don't know. He might have some like issues like behind the scenes. He should be
Yeah,
more. He should be bigger than what he is. So I don't really
yeah,
feel like
I
something
think
something
I can say
something
that.
something's holding him back. I don't know what. Maybe I don't know. I don't know. He just
Um, Duron Ennis.
what's that?
Duron Ennis.
What's your question? What do I think about him?
Yes.
Again, I feel like the same thing. I feel like those guys they're not getting the TV time that they probably deserve, and they got to speed up the pace. I feel like those guys get kind of like lost in the mix, and maybe they need like more TV time to show the personality, to show those guys that they can fight. I mean, those guys are they're not getting TV time. They're not promoting themselves well. They're not getting on the big fights. You know what I mean? Like those guys need TV time. You know, and I think those both of them are tough. The both of them are obviously great, but we don't
Yeah,
know how good they are as pros yet. They haven't fought the bigger names that they should. Like former world champions, guys like that.
yeah.
To really
Get measuring stick.
absolutely, absolutely, and that's what they need. But they're not getting those opportunities. I don't know why.
Okay. There's one subject you seem to be quite vocal about: Wilder versus Joshua.
uh, I have mixed feelings about this thing. I mean, aside from the fight, like I don't know. I kind of think the fight's already made. I think the fight was already made. Like I think all the going back and forth. I don't know how real it is. I don't know. I don't know. I think personally, I would say that the fight was probably already made a couple months ago, and maybe they're trying to get in one or two more before that fight happens. Um, I don't know though. Boxing is crazy. It's like the wild, wild west, man. Like there's no like really rules, no regulations, no governing body. I mean, everybody's just doing what they want, and promoters can be tricky. So I personally think the fight was already made, but everybody else says no. But I think it was made already months ago.
Who do you believe in the whole Wilder Joshua debate debacle? Is it her not wanting the fight to happen? Is it Wilder lying and trying to duck? See, I don't believe Wilder wants to duck Joshua simply because he fought Ortiz. But
Here,
you tell
right.
me.
I this is just my opinion. Like I don't know anything, right? So, like it's kind of like Joshua. You could kind of see like a pattern here, right? So I like with Katie Taylor. Let's use Katie Taylor as an example. I feel like Katie Taylor is not fighting the level of competition that a lot of people think she should. Why? Is because she needs rounds. They need to get her more rounds. She's just got her 10th fight, and it was only what 2 rounds. So they're trying to get Katie Taylor rounds, and I think that they're trying to keep her busy. So to answer your question, I think that they're trying to get Anthony Joshua some more fights and some more rounds. Wilder's got what 40 pro fights, and I think Joshua's got like 22 or something. So I think they're trying to get him a couple more fights and trying to get him some more rounds in the bank. You can't go wrong, right? But hopefully the plan doesn't backfire. You never know. Like if Tyson Fury fights Wilder, what if he knocks out Wilder, and then it screws up all the hoopla, and it screws up the whole big money plan. So I don't know.
So
Go ahead.
the
Sorry.
talk in the town is that Wilder and Fury will fight at the end of the year. Your thoughts on the Fury comeback, Safa Safiri, Pianetta, and now this?
I mean, Tyson Fury is definitely entertaining, but I don't know. I think it's a good idea for Wilder to fight him right now. I think Tyson Fury couldn't compete at that level right now. I think if he went and got 2 or 3 more fights and lost about 34 to 40 pounds and showed that he's 100% serious, I think he would put up a little bit more of a fight, but I think the outcome will be the same. But whether he gets knocked out in his third round or in the 10th round is going to be the difference. And I think if Wilder blows him out in 3 rounds, 4 rounds, that'll be the end of Tyson's career. I'm sorry, Tyson Fury's career. But I think he should go get some wins, build his money, Tyson Fury, and then come back and put on a legitimate uh,
Challenge.
yeah, I mean, I think that's the smart play, but it's hard to walk away from the money that he would get paid for that fight.
Why do you think Fury would jump and go, or do you think it's a promoter trying to cash him out?
Um, that's a good point. I think the promoter could cash him out, but you got to remember too, how much would he make against Wilder? Probably 7, 8 million. I don't know. I mean, maybe right? Maybe not that much. Maybe 5 million, 4 million. Either way, how do you walk away from 4 million, 5 million? I don't know what the numbers would be, but I'm just guessing. But I'm guessing that fight's probably 4 to 6 million. How do you walk away from that? You're never gonna get enough
So, okay, people are
money.
saying that uh, Fury versus Wilder will be a big money fight.
For Tyson Fury, I don't think it would be a big money fight for Wilder. I think they can use. I mean, Tyson Fury has a following. He's got a credible name. he's entertaining. He's gonna come and fight. He's gonna come and entertain. He's gonna sell tickets. I think if it would just add to the Deontay Wilder promotional train, and Deontay Wilder needs people to look at him. He's not as big as Anthony Joshua is in the UK. He's not at
Mm-hmm.
all close. So I think they need. I think, to be honest with you, I think Anthony Joshua needs more rounds, and I think Wilder needs more promotions. And I think Tyson Fury fits the bill. He's going to get a couple rounds from that kid, from that guy, and he's going to get some more publicity from Tyson Fury, because Tyson Fury is going to do something goofy, and it's going to go viral. It's just the way he's just a crazy guy, and it'll sell and it'll be all over the internet, and that's what Wilder needs, right? Some more press in the U.S.
Where does Jarrell Miller fit into all this?
What is what?
Big Baby Miller, where does he fit into it all?
Man, he's an entertaining guy and he's a big puncher. I don't know. I think, if I was him, there's nothing he can do right now, right? Because Tyson Fury's chasing Wilder or Joshua, and Joshua's fighting what's his name?
Povetkin.
Yeah, Povetkin. So those guys are, and Wilder's it looks like he wants a Tyson Fury fight. I think Big Baby's gonna have to sit back and kind of wait till the chips fall. Maybe he could get the loser of Joshua and I don't know, Joshua and Wilder. I mean,
He could, he
he's
could
still,
fight Lewis Ortiz.
yeah. I mean, he's still like. Plus, not a lot of people know him in the U.S. I mean, he's big over in the U.K., but like, there's in the U.S. he's okay. I'm talking like the boxing. We know him, but
Yeah, I
the
agree.
fans don't know who he is. Not that much. Got some promotion to do too.
Um, Lewis Ortiz, ancient Lewis Ortiz, 48-year-old Lewis Ortiz. What are your thoughts on him?
Oh man, he had a phenomenal performance this weekend. But
He did.
yeah, I mean, he had a phenomenal performance against Deontay Wilder. He's still in the mix. I mean, he can fight Big Baby. I don't know. I mean, 48 years old. He's gonna have to pick it up. He could fight Big Baby, and the winner is still in the mix. Even the loser's still in the mix, to be honest with you. But I think he's only got about 2, 3 fights left. Hopefully three, but I don't think three. If he gets stopped in his next two fights, he might not have a long career after that. I mean, realistically, he's only going to another year, right? So that's 2 or 3
Yeah,
fights.
yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
I like him. I like him. He's humble. He's a good guy. He's managed by Louis the Cubist, who I like and respect. Um, I don't know. We'll see what happens. I don't know, but stay active and stay busy.
I don't understand this. When before Ortiz got beat by Wilder, Ortiz was the baddest man on the planet. Wilder beats him, and he's 48 years old and a bum. What?
I, I don't think the boxing people consider Ortiz a bum. Maybe I don't think so. I like him, to be honest. I like him.
Absolutely.
He's a tough older dude. He could fight. He could fight with anybody. He could fight with Joshua. He could obviously
Mm-hmm.
he could fight with Wilder. And Big Baby. He might not have the experience to beat a guy like Ortiz right now. I don't know. We'll see.
Absolutely.
So those are interesting fights, and don't forget Tyson Fury's still in the mix. It's like Fury.
Still, it can still happen.
Their fight would be Tyson Fury against Ortiz, and if the winners still
Yeah, he
rolling.
don't want any of that. I interviewed
Oh,
Tyson. He don't want any of that Ortiz work. He don't want any of that Ortiz work. He said it himself. He says Ortiz don't have no tickets. He's not a ticket seller. Ortiz ain't even supported by Cubans. Cubans don't support Cubans. He said to me. And at the end of the day, he's awkward. Why do I want to fight him? That's when he was champion. But I can't
yeah,
see the Ortiz route now.
yeah.
Um, Joshua Povetkin.
I think Joshua's gonna do exactly what he's supposed to do. He's gonna go in there, get some rounds, and then get rid of him late. I think he stops him later. Eight to ten in the eighth round, 10th round, somewhere in there, he'll stop him. But he'll give him rounds. He'll get rounds, and that's what I think he's in for. To get rounds and to board.
Dillian White and Derek Chisora. Their wins.
Oh man, uh, I like White. I like him, and how do you say the other guy's name?
Chisora.
Chisora, yeah, he that was a big one. That was a massive win. I like the underdogs, man. I like the guys like that. I'm an instant fan of those guys like that who work hard and and he was super. You saw afterwards, he was so excited. He was all fired up. I mean, that's what being on this planet is. Like someone gives you an opportunity and you
Yep.
take advantage of it. God bless him. I hope he does well after this. But as far as White, I mean, White's he's a tough guy and he needed that win and he got it and that's it. So it was good for both of them. It was a good weekend for them.
Let's talk a bit more about. I want to talk a bit about Chicago boxing,
Hmm.
uh, and American boxing, and of matchroom boxing being in America.
Yeah.
How does matchroom fit around the Al Heyman, De La Hoya, Ludabella, what's his, and all the other people around main events?
Um,
How does matchroom fit into that mix in America?
they definitely bring a different style. You see Eddie Hearn's a lot more vocal than other promoters. Oscar De La Hoya he likes to be on camera. You barely see. I mean, Bob Arum. I mean, Eddie Hearn brings a different light. His style of promoting. He'll do a skit once in a while. I think like the normal everyday boxing fans can relate to that fun stuff. So that's good. I know those guys, Oscar and even Richard Schaefer. He's not an American, but Richard Schaefer, he knows the American market, obviously. And a lot of those guys are bent out of shape. Like Eddie made those guys mad, and they made Eddie mad. But I think overall Eddie understands that it's a promotional tool, like everything he does, and he doesn't really take it personal. And I think those other promoters have taken some things personal. But I mean, where does he fit? I mean, you have $1 billion behind you, you can fit wherever you want. You know what I'm saying? So as long as Eddie signs more fighters and entertaining fighters and puts on big fights, I think any promoter will do well. As he does those things, he'll be fine. I mean, Eddie's a smart guy, that, and he's got a lot of money behind him, and I think Eddie's gonna do just fine. I think he'll do very well.
Andrade, Billy Joe Saunders seems to be the talk. So it's Frank Warren versus Eddie Hearn on a show. Because obviously Eddie Hearn has got Andrade, he's just signed Andrade, and Billy
Yeah.
Joe Saunders and Frank Warren. How does that fight go for you? And how much do you know about Andrade?
Uh, I don't know that much about Andrade. I know he was on the Olympic team, I believe, right? Um, and he's tough, and I mean he's got that the amateur pedigree, which puts other fighters on other levels. I don't know, like I like to see him fight more, and I think with Eddie he's gonna fight more, but I think maybe taking this fight is a little aggressive. I think they should have put him out there a little bit to get to build his fan base, to put him out there. But I mean, again, these guys might use a fight like that to make a statement, you know. So that fight could be really really good or really really bad. I don't think it's gonna be in between. I think someone's getting knocked out, and I think it could be extremely well for Andrade.
Um, let's back to Chicago boxing.
Mhm.
What sort of fighters have you got in the gym at the moment? Apart from Jessica, who you work with. Um,
Um, I got I got some amateurs, that are doing
yep.
really well. I got a 17-year-old female fighter. She's on the up and up. She's coming along really well. Summer Lynn, she's really good. You could see her, possibly turning pro in the next 2 years. So she's doing really good right now. I'm working with my heavyweight. My heavyweights, both of them are undefeated. My young heavyweights doing really well. So we're gonna put them on the fast track and see what happens. With the heavyweights and with the girls, you can move them a little bit quicker. When you get the 135 to 156 pounders in there, they just fight so much, and there's a lot of wear and tear on them by the time when they get to that elite level, especially if
Yeah.
they don't have the amateur, I mean the Olympic background and the big tournament background. But I'm working with my boxing gym and my style is like I take few fighters instead of a lot. and I give those guys personal attention or girls personal attention, and we try to do the best with what we can. So, um, like I said, I want to put out good product, and hopefully a promoter recognizes that and says, you know what, I want to work with Rick down the road, and that will ultimately attract more fighters for me. But I think the Chicago market needs help, and I need help. You know, I need the big name promotional companies to come to Chicago, and hopefully, we can all work together and do something positive, because Chicago is really, the market in Chicago is a little slow right now. We
What?
need to.
So, yeah, obviously you'd offer your gym and fighters, but what do you think if you could have the perfect plan, Rick,
Mm-hmm.
to promoters? What would that be?
The perfect plan to promote, like if I was
Yeah.
the promoter myself.
Well, no, they're coming to you, and you're like, say, I'm a promoter, big time promoter in the UK, and I'm
Mhm.
coming to America. I'm saying I'm coming to Chicago, and I want to revitalize Chicago. What would you say?
I say this all the time, and the some promoters agree and some disagree. I think you got to hit the street. I think you got to do fundraisers. I mean, you got to do media workouts and go door to door, not literally, but do media workouts. Have the fighters meet the people. Get Chicago fans excited again. Make them feeling like there's a connection there. You know what I mean? And put
Yeah,
on better amateur shows, and put on. Small. We got to start smaller. I think Chicago. We aim very very high, and I think
yep.
we come up a little bit short. And I think we should just start from the bottom. Get the smaller venues. Make them intimate. And put on phenomenal shows on a smaller scale, so that we attract the bigger promoters that want to take it to another level. But we need to start from the bottom. Like we got to hit reset, and do this all over. But we do like the fighters in Chicago got to hit the street. We got to shake hands, take pictures, and do media workouts and get sponsors involved. And you got to do these things. And I think that's what Chicago's lacking right now. They're lacking a personality, not necessarily in fighters, but we need either a big puncher from Chicago knocking everybody out. We need a world title in Chicago, or we need a promoter that says, you know what, I got a different idea. Why don't we try this? But I think Chicago could be a phenomenal market. It's such a great city that we need a big fights. We need at least, we need a big fight by a Chicago kid, whether it's a boy or a girl. It doesn't matter. Guy or girl, doesn't matter. We need big fight.
But do you think that Eddie Hearn being in Chicago is the start of good things? Because if he's there,
Uh,
he comes back to Chicago.
I can answer that this October 7th, the day after the fight, because I don't know what's gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? If there's no, I know the Chicago market very well, and if the Chicago market doesn't feel connected to that October 6th fight, I don't know how it will go. I don't know. If there's no one on the show, it's gonna be a tough sell. Chicago isn't like. It's not like going to LA. It's not like the Staples Center where it attracts itself. We Chicago doesn't have that staple location where all the fights are. There's one arena, UIC Pavilion, that's very very. It's kind of like the spot for the last 5 to 7 years, but I think it needs a jump start. I think some new faces, some new blood will do that. Some new ideas definitely, and I don't know. I mean, again, I think it's very very important for Chicago fighters to be on that October 6th show. And hopefully there is.
In terms of getting Jessica's quality sparring, how do you do? Can you? Is that in Chicago? Do you have to go out of Chicago for that?
No, I don't really believe in. I think if you're a smart coach or trainer, I don't think you have to leave the city all the time. There's certain things that you can get. Like we can go to I mean, get sparring, no problem, and things like that. But I mean, I think if you got the right game plan, you don't need to do all that. I think you can use money elsewhere. You can use that money um, to do other things. Jessica, she likes to spar with guys. A lot of great females help us, for sure. But Jessica really likes to spar with guys, and that's her thing, and she wants to go speed. Uh, but shout out to all the females in Chicago who help us, and we help them, and we all help each other. we to answer your question, Jessica, there's sparring and there's an we don't need to go out of town. Although we did invite Shelly Vincent. You know Shelly Vincent. We invited
Yes.
her. We invited her, and you know what? I'll put it out there right now. Like we invite anybody to come to Chicago. You know, I'll pay for your ticket. We want someone to come show us love, and we want some female fighters to come, like some.
Yeah. Pay for
You
my ticket. I'll come out and film you guys. Pay for my.
know, that's that's definitely a possibility. We invited Shelly Vincent. We would, man, we would love to move around with the Serrano sisters. It's just, and it's not even a challenge. It's not a disrespect challenge. We just want to see, like, we want to spar with the best. We want to move with the best. We want to be mentioned with the best. Like Jessica wants to test herself. She wants to push herself, and I think we want that. But not everybody's willing to help you, especially when you could fight them down the road. I'm not saying that no one, but for Shelly Vincent uh, to come out and help us, and hopefully she said yeah, so we'll wait and see, and hopefully we can bring out another fighter.
I want to. I'm still puzzled as to how you guys were able to make up the gap between Jesse Mccaskill having so few amateur bouts and like not going to the Olympics, and someone like Katie Taylor who went to the Olympics and so close. Why is that?
I, I
How are
didn't
you?
I didn't hear that last part.
How are you able to close the gap between yourselves and Katie Taylor? Katie Taylor being an Olympic gold medalist, and Jesse McCaskill didn't fight at the Olympics. So how are you able to close that gap and make that so close?
I definitely see, like if you break it all down, right, and you put it all on paper,
Yeah,
Jessica should have never even got that fight,
she shouldn't
and
have been in the ring. No, she shouldn't. Based on
right. So if you just looked at yeah, if you looked at it on paper, I don't even know if they would have approved that fight if that fight was in Chicago. I mean, I really don't know, but I can tell you, Katie Taylor had like 110 amateur fights and Jessica had 26 or 23. You know, it's just Jessica, like, she's an athlete. She's very very excuse me. She's very very aggressive. She could punch. She's not afraid. And we had a conversation before the Katie Taylor fight. I said, Jess, I told her straight up. I mean, I said the only way to beat Katie Taylor is you have to be willing to get knocked out to beat her. And she's like, I'm willing to get knocked out to beat her. And then Jessica went in full force. I mean, you got to understand. It's like a soldier in war. You got to know that you're to sign up for it. You got to know you got to be willing to die. So if as long as you're comfortable with that, possibility, then anything's possible, right? So, you
yeah,
know, yeah. So that's why I told Jessica, I'm like, this can change your life. You knock out Katie Taylor, you won't buy a house, you'll buy a mansion. You know what I'm saying? So, um, that's his. It is what it is. Wow, awesome. And maybe I do have a chip on my shoulder towards the outcome, but you know, um, I don't know what it was and what it is. It was so close you could taste it. You know what I mean? And um, a lot of UK fans over there probably disagree. You know, and they're rooting for their fighter. So be it.
if they listen to the commentary, they would totally disagree with you. If they listen to the commentary.
It was tough. But you know who came up to me afterwards? Bayu, or what's his name? How do you say his name?
Belly.
Bellew. Yeah, he came up to us after the fight, and he actually stopped me when we were walking out, and he's like, "Hey, is Jessica with you?" And I said, "Yeah." And he went up to Jessica, and he was like, "Man, that was an amazing fight. You're a tough girl. You almost pulled off. I had it a lot closer than what the
Yeah.
sport said." And I think obviously he knows boxing, so I think if you go back and listen to it, he was really the only one who was, not, I don't want to say leaning towards our side, but he did compliment Jessica when to be complimented. So, shout out to Tony Belly.
Belly. Um. Now let's bring some names up. If you don't fight on October the 6th, let's throw some names into the mix.
Mm-hmm.
Chantel Cameron. I understand that there was some sort of talks about a Chantel Cameron fight.
Yeah.
You can't come on here and just say yeah. That's not an answer, Rick. You got to do more than yeah. What's that?
Yeah,
I want exclusive.
I'll
Yeah.
tell you, the truth of the matter is we had contact with Cameron's people.
Mhm.
We're definitely interested in the fight. We're still interested in the fight, but you know, our initial plan was to we had a fight. I think it was May 25th or something in the
Yeah.
Bahamas for a title, and we were gonna fight that fight. And I was extremely confident about the girl we were fighting. And I said, if we win this fight and we're clean, no cuts, no bruises, no soreness, you know, we were gonna fight. Uh, we were possibly gonna fight Chantel Cameron 30 days later. So it was all there. There wasn't an initial offer or nothing like that, but we were in communications, and it was a serious. We were willing to go to the next step as far as negotiations if we won that fight. So the fight never happened because of I think it was a hurricane out there that week. So the
Yeah.
fight got, and then it was a possibility. We were close, and then we still want to fight like that. I mean, again, if we get one more fight here, I'll tell you what. I'll put this out there. If we get one more win, we get one more win. Um, we're definitely gonna explore the Chantel Cameron. If Katie doesn't want to fight Chantel Cameron, we'll step up and we'll do it. But I got to get Jessica a win. I got to. She hasn't been in the ring in 7 months or whatever. I need a little help here. So that's something that I would definitely be interested in. But again, that fight could have happened, and we were a lot closer than people think. But um, that's something that we wanna look to. There's other names too. I mean,
Oh yeah, I'm about to bring. That's all right. Cool. I got some other names. I got some other names. Heather
we
Heather Hardy.
yeah, Heather Hardy for sure. Yeah, we had Warriors Promotions. That's who we work with. We had them reach out to Bella, and we wanted that fight at 130. And from what I was told, I don't know who to believe and who says what, but someone told me that Heather told uh, that she didn't want to fight at 130 and that she wasn't going to come up and wait. And then she's all over the internet saying she want to fight Kaylee Taylor at 135, and I'm just like, come on, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just we were willing to go down to 130, to fight Heather, or even to with all due respect to Shelly Vincent, we were interested in a fight with Shelly, but Shelly's cool people. I talked to her, we communicated, and we've developed a friendship, and we think that Shelly Vincent could help us out, do some sparring. I think that would be a better idea for now. And if the money presents itself later, then maybe all of us will put at another time. But if I could have what I want, I'd like to have Heather Hart tomorrow, and once we get past her, then we can move on to maybe Chantel Cameron or a rematch with Katie Taylor.
What about Serrano? That was the other one she mentioned. Serrano.
Which Serrano, Cindy or Amanda?
I'm not sure. I think she mentioned Amanda.
Amanda, the Hall of Famer. She'll be in the Hall of Fame. She's five-time division champion. And man is a tough fight. Man is a tough fight, and with all due respect to the surroundings, they're both tough. They're real people. They're both very cool people. We communicated. I talked to Steve face to face in Brooklyn. And I told her at that time when we had just were in talks with Katie. It was like we got the Katie Taylor fight. She's like, good luck. Make the money, and good luck to you guys, whatever. So Cindy was really cool. Um, I would I would I would want Heather Harding first, and then after that, a fight with maybe Cindy would be great. And just to see where it all is. Jessica wants to know where she. And if we got past them two, open to the big, you know. And I
Are
don't have.
there any
That's that.
are there any options to fight for any world titles outside of what's
Uh,
at the moment?
I don't know. I mean, right now it doesn't look like it, right, because Katie's got two. Chantel Cameron's got the IBO. Delphin's got what, the WBC, I think, right?
Yep.
I
How
mean,
good's Delphin?
yeah, she's got, man. We fight her tomorrow. We would felt How do you say Delphin Pearson? We will fight her
Yeah.
tomorrow. We'll fight her tomorrow. Jessica would knock her out. And that's how I feel. We would take that fight immediately.
So what's stopping you taking that fight immediately?
I mean, to be honest with you, they haven't called me. I mean, they have the belt. I think, this is how I see it. Like, I think Jessica is a risk. She's a tough female fighter. She doesn't have a
Mm-hmm.
lot of fights. I mean, I don't know. I mean, plus you got to remember she's a risk, right? And she's a risk. And if God forbid, if Jessica beats them, they lose out on a lot of money against Katie Taylor. I mean, the Katie Taylor, they're stalling and waiting to build up that the
Unification bout.
yeah, I mean, and that's what they should do. They should get paid. So we'll see what happens. I mean, we would fight Delphin tomorrow. That's a fight that
Okay.
we.
What stops Jessica Mccaskill not becoming a full-time pro fighter?
Man, activity. I mean, first of all, you got to remember she's, with all due respect to Jess, she's getting older, so that's if she was 24, I'd be like, man, quit your job, let's do this, but she's getting older. She has responsibilities, and she needs to make money to live, and I think she's got a great job. She's got a great career. She's got,
She
um,
has, but I just think to myself, just like a year of her just being a full-time pro fighter, just
I
one
agree.
year, and throw
I
everything at it.
here I'll be blunt then. If we had financial support, in the sense of, if we had a promoter to say, hey, you know what, we'll give you a 2-year 6-fight deal, with a 2 title shots involved, we would do that. We just need, you got to remember, female boxing is difficult, right? So, like,
Yeah,
it's either you fight a girl who's not good at all, or you fight a girl who's really good. There's really, it's not like the guys where you can cherry pick, and there's a ton of backup fighters on top of backup on top of backup. I mean, with women, you're either fighting hard or not. So it's like, there's not a lot of women.
yeah.
You can't really build these women. It's not going to, they're on the fast track. Everybody, even Katie's on the fast track.
Ava Knight was a lady that I spoke to a hell of a lot when she was fighting, and one thing I always remember Ava always saying about how she had to go to Mexico to fight because she was loved more in Mexico than she was in America. Do you see yourselves having to go to Mexico to take fights?
It's funny you should say that, because we just we just got a potential offer to fight in Mexico, in the near future. So that's why, like I said, we have other opportunities right now. I would love to get on the October 6th fight. Um, if you have a promoter, or if you have someone you trust in Mexico working with you, then I definitely think it's worth the chance to do it. But if you're solo, dangerous. You could get out there. It's dangerous out there. So,
She
um,
told me that when she went out to box, she was getting spat at. When she was going to ring, she was getting spat at.
right. That's what I'm saying. Got to be careful. It's when you go to another country, you don't know how the people are going to be. You don't know how the judges are going to be. You don't know how it really works out there. So I am a little worried to go to Mexico, because I don't even know if they'll treat me right. And I'm Mexican American, but
Damn.
it's different. It's different. I wasn't born in Mexico. I was born here, so they might view me different. So I just got to be careful. Make sure that I work with people that I trust. And
Okay, two more before we go. Golovkin, Canelo.
man, uh, I think you're going to see the same exact fight. I honestly do. I think it's going to be another controversial. I think Canelo will try to fight him. I think there'll be times where he'll take it to Triple G, but I think he's going to realize that Triple G is no joke, and he's strong. And if he stays there a little too long, or if he pulls out with his hands down, he could be on the floor. So I think, and then after that, I think he's going to go back to how he ended the fight. But he's going to move and touch and move, touch and touch and move. And I think we're going to get the same exact fight, and I think we could possibly get a draw. I think it's going to happen again. It's going to be controversy for sure.
And the floor is yours. Message to Eddie Hearn.
We want to fight. We want to fight, and we want to be on an October 6th fight, no doubt. I mean, I respect Eddie Hearn, and he did good by us, and he honored his word, and I felt like we put on a good show. and I felt like we're entertaining. So I would like to be on the show. We'd like to participate in the show. We want to sell tickets for the show. We want to give Chicago, a great show. And to have Katie Taylor and Jessica on the same show, not fighting each other, is a great tribute to female boxing in Chicago. If it was in Brooklyn, it'd be different, but it's in Chicago. It's our hometown, and we deserve to be recognized, or to at least to be a part of it. I think.
How do people reach out to you, Rick?
You can reach me any social media. All my social media is public. Rick Ramos Boxing, and you can find me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. I love talking to people. And if anyone got any, man, the female fighters, if you want to come out and give us some rounds, man, we would love it. We got a lot of female fighters in Chicago coming up, and they can use the jump start. They can use a confidence booster. So we want to help. We come to you. Will you come by us? I'm willing to pay for a female's ticket to come, round trip, whatever they want. We'll get it done. So
There's some things I will do, but I'm not wearing a skirt and I'm not putting a wig on. So,
it's a good thing.
so
It's a good thing then.
I'll go some other way.
That's a good thing. But we're ready, man. We're ready. We want to fight. Jessica Mccaskill. If you don't know her, you can find her on Instagram too. Jessica Mccaskill, social media, Facebook, Twitter, everything. So if you don't add me, find Jessica. If you find Jessica, you want to add me, you can find us. We're always together. We're always hanging out. We're always trying to look for the big opportunities, and we should have some big. We should have some news soon, hopefully.
Send Jessica my regards and to everyone else at the Body Shop Boxing Club.
For sure, for sure. And you got to come to Chicago too. You have family here, right?
I've got family there. I was in Chicago last year, actually. I was in Chicago,
Oh,
downtown
wow.
Chicago.
Well, you got to come back. You got to come back. Come back October 6th.
Definitely, definitely. I've got some good family in Chicago down in what's the place? Hyde Park.
Where Hyde Park? That's
Yes.
that's 2 miles from my house. That's about 4 minutes away from my house.
You're joking. So quite possibly, I don't know if you know a rapper called Da Smart.
Da Smart. No, I'm not familiar with him. I'm not
He's a big Chicago rapper, big Chicago hip hop.
Da Smart.
Yeah, he's been with them all. Grandmaster Flashed a lot.
Right.
He's
Well,
the
I'm gonna look him up now. So you plugged them. So now I gotta look him up. I'm gonna check him
okay.
out.
Oh, okay. Rick, you take care.
Feel free to hit me up whenever you want. I'd love to get on the show. I love to be.
Absolutely, got to make you regular and welcome to the family.
Thank you so much for all your support. Thank you, everybody.
No worries. Take care, Rick. All the best.
Thank you, sir. You too.
Take care, champ.